Hello, friends. It's Chops, and welcome back to another Chops vlog. It is the Lunar Festival. Yay! It's the first major holiday of the year. This year, it's going to overlap with the Valentine's Day Festival. I think that starts next week a little bit, but this is the big one. Even though I have the meta achievement for this already. I think I got it last year. This is a big one for me because what I do not have is all of these engineering schematics that you get. And I need them if I'm going to, well, that's a toy. Those are toys. I need them if I'm going to max out my engineering. So I'm going to be going around during this Chops vlog and just visiting all of the elders to get the elder coins. I need 30, 40, 5. Maybe I get 70 and pick up one of these toys. Anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing. But what I want to talk about a little bit on this Chops vlog is the latest news. There's news in World of Warcraft. Who would have thought? What news there is that cross-faction rated battlegrounds, Mythic Plus, anything you can do through the group finder is now going to be open. Well, not now, but will in the very near future be open to cross-faction play. In other words, oh, hey, I'm not a druid. I can't use those. In other words, it will allow for collaboration between Alliance and Horde if you want to run dungeons, if you want to do mythics, if you want to raid, if you want to do rated battlegrounds. All of these can now be done as a Horde and Alliance group, which man, that sucks. And I know like most people are super hyped for it. And I don't want to take anything away from their excitement because I know this is something that a lot of people have really wanted for a while. But to me and to my sort of enjoyment of the game, this is a real signifier that the direction that the game designers are going in is they're really just kind of embracing this idea that World of Warcraft is nothing more than sort of a instant simulator. You know, it's not any different anymore from any other game where you queue up in a lobby and you hang out in the lobby, except the lobbies now are capital cities. Or whatever the main city is of the newest expansion hub. And you just wait to be teleported via loading screen to whatever dungeon or raid or battleground it is that you're playing. And then when you're done with that, you get teleported via loading screen back to the lobby where you can re-queue. And you just do this over and over and over again. And it was part of my complaint. And I've talked about this in past videos. I'm going to try to remember to put the little cards that pop up like over there. You can't, but in that top corner. I'll try to remember to put it up there, but it's the video called Do You Still Enjoy World of Warcraft? Where I talked about a lot about how this seems to be this move towards the content kind of serving the world. Like they designed world first and then designed quests and content that went into it and made the world feel a little more alive, to now they just kind of design quests and content and the world exists as nothing more than a place to put quests to get you to end game. And then end game is standing around in your lobby queuing into your instant simulator. And I guess if what you want out of this game is to progress through the sort of the end game progression, which don't get me wrong, man, I'm not trying to knock people who enjoy that. I really do understand, like, man, like the people who have I log on, I've got a couple hours to play. I don't want to have to do this huge time investment. I would like to make some progress. So if I've only got a couple of hours to play, I can log in, I can queue a couple of mythics, I can make progress for the week towards whatever my weekly reward is or whatever gear may drop out of the mythics. And I feel like I'm progressing my character. And I get that, man. I get that. I don't want to take that away from anybody. But what I miss is that that's all the game has kind of become. And this move towards allowing Horde and Alliance to queue together is nothing more than a way to sort of make that easier and faster. You have less time in the queue, basically. If you can just pick up Horde and Alliance, it doesn't matter. You don't have to wait quite as long. It could be, instead of waiting a couple of minutes, instead of maybe waiting 5 or 6 minutes, you're waiting 2 or 3 minutes, because you just have a larger pool of players to pull from. I'm surprised I was able to say that without tripping over my own tongue. You have a larger pool of players to pull from. Yes. And so I think that, and so that's sort of where it went. And I was kind of hoping, and I talked about this a little bit on the forums. So if you're from the forums, you can read me talk about this on one of the threads, rather than listen to me ramble, though I appreciate you listening to me ramble. I had kind of hoped that when Classic was released and Classic Burning Crusade was released, and there was this huge fanfare about like people coming back to the game and digging into that nostalgia and really sort of embracing what they liked about the game when it was the MMO, and it still is, but like when it really defined what an MMO was and could be. I had hoped that when that happened, Blizzard would look back and say, man, we are missing something from the current game. What are we missing? And then they would look at like how immersive the world was back then. And maybe say, maybe we do need to step back from this instance simulator design and really design the game in a way that encourages people to get out into the world a little bit more, to really dig into what makes the world of Warcraft so enticing and attractive. And they didn't, like the announcement of a cross-faction queue is really them committing to this idea that all that matters is getting you to end game, and then at end game just churning you through this content, right? Just like you log in and you just churn through these mythics or these heroics. Maybe the only reason you go out into the world is to do these daily quests, but you only do enough to progress whatever borrowed power system they've designed, and that steps you out of it, out of sort of the immersion of the world, and it just becomes this like list of things that you need to do because that's how you progress the game, rather than this sort of like free-form game that you can kind of explore and spend some time in. And I think that one of the things that happened in sort of the older game, and there's another video I'm going to try to remember to bounce up here that I did not write and record. Maybe I can't put it on my screen if I didn't record it. Anyways, it's from Folding Ideas, and it's called What We Left Behind, World of Warcraft Classic. I think it was released about the time World of Warcraft Classic came out. If I can't like put it up in the little title card thing up there, I'll link it in the description. He talks a lot about how when World of Warcraft first was released, there wasn't a whole lot to do once you got to 60. Like if you weren't in a major raiding guild, I mean, you could run some of the 5-man dungeons, or like you could do like crafting professions and farm gold or things, but there wasn't a whole lot to do. So in order to sort of like not be bored, people explored a lot, or they didn't rush to end game because they knew, hey, I'm not in a major raiding guild. I'm probably not going to be in a major raiding guild. I'm probably not going to have time to be in a major raiding guild. So what I'm actually going to do is take my time leveling through this and just really kind of dig in and enjoy the world. And excuse me for a second, I'm going to get flying so that you guys can look at something besides the Flight Master. I just don't know where I'm going right now. Trillamance, Light Hope, Eastern Plagueland, Sepulchre, Booty Bay. There's somebody in Booty Bay. All right, cool. We'll just start down south and work our way north. And so, and you know, we talked a lot about that, and I think that that is a lot of what's missing from World of Warcraft now is that sort of like idea that the world has room to breathe, right? And again, I mentioned this on the forums. I think that, you know, all games are sort of, or all progression games or MMOs, or even just any sort of RPG is really kind of built around the idea of a gear treadmill, right? We talk about this a lot when people talk about like RPG design, is that, you know, you go and you level up and you have some gear when you reach max level. So you go and you kill bosses that you can kill with that gear. They drop a slightly better gear that allows you to kill slightly stronger bosses, that drop slightly better gear that allow you to kill slightly stronger bosses, that drop slightly better gear that allow you to kill slightly stronger bosses, and on and on and on and on and on, right? And that gear treadmill exists in just about every RPG. And I think that like Diablo 3 is the purest distillation of a gear treadmill. You know, the idea of these sort of, I forget what they're called, but you know, you go into them and they're just, the monsters are just slightly harder, and eventually you're running like level 300 or whatever instances where you're killing monsters just as fast as you were killing them at level 10. It's just that instead of your weapon dealing 10 damage and the monster has 30 health, your weapon is dealing 1,000,000 damage and the monster has 3 million health, right? Like, and that sort of like gear treadmill exists in World of Warcraft, and it has existed the entire time World of Warcraft has existed. It's just that for a while that gear treadmill was fairly well hidden, or interestingly enough, in their design choices was fairly inaccessible to a large portion of the player base. You know, if you weren't on the raid team of a raiding guild, most of the in-game content was something you were never going to see. And that was bad, right? Like, so I understand why they kind of opened it up to make it easier for everybody to see all of the content. Like, I get that. But what that has kind of resulted in is that content being the only thing that matters. And so this brings me around sort of to the idea that, you know, when you decide we're going to throw the idea of factions at war completely out the door, and we're going to invest in cross-faction cooperation and instanced content, you are committing yourself to that instanced content being all that matters. And that's a design decision that is a real blow to my hopes that maybe they were going to step back a little bit. And maybe they were going to say, all right, we need to slow down and let the game slow. Oh, I forgot that's not good. I forgot I'm at war with these guys. We need to slow down a little bit, and we need to let the game breathe a bit, and we need to maybe step back from this development cycle that we were on, where, you know, we were expecting to churn out a new patch every 5 to 6 months, and new content patching, and just this constant. They were on a content treadmill that resembled the gear treadmill that they put people on. They were constantly having to put out this content because the player base came to expect new content, because they had made it. I've talked about this already. I'm not going to bore you to tears with it, but they had made it the only thing that mattered. So the player base took their cue from that and said, okay, this is what matters. This is what we're going to do. And that's really sort of very unfortunate. Oh no, that guy's up there, isn't he? Oh, God bless. Um, and I think that commitment that they made to doing that blows. So I've been talking a lot to friends, to forum people, to folks that I chat with in game on the forums a little bit. And I think my reaction to this was immediately, I'm out. Like, I'm done. This isn't the game that I fell in love with when it first came out anymore. And I think that this really solidified that in my head. That was an immediate knee-jerk reaction. So I had to step back and kind of analyze that a bit. And I was like, am I just trying to like blow off steam? Am I like angry about it, but I don't really feel like I need to dip out and like all that? But the more I think about it, the more I realize that like I really, really am enjoying Shadowlands. I'm enjoying running through the content like I am currently. I'm enjoying making these videos that kind of chronologue me going through the content. The little bit of organized PvP that we've been able to do, kind of got lost and turned around in here, has been great. I am having more fun in Shadowlands twinking than I think I've had since Wrath of the Lich King. Twinks were a thing, which is to say a lot of fun playing this. So it's maybe not that I like hate the game or anything anymore, because obviously I'm having a blast with it. But I do think it may be time to go out on top. Before I just kind of get forced out, like that would be really unfortunate. To like play the game so long that I came to resent it and hate it. That would be bad. So, a little soul searching and stuff. And I think that I think Shadowlands might actually be the last hurrah. I think that this might be the end of the road. If I get everything done that I want to get done with my free to play before Shadowlands ends, which I feel like I'm probably on track to do slowly but surely, I think I'm going to hang it up, man. I think I'm going to be done. And that feels weird to say because I've played this game for 16 years. The better part of my life, certainly the majority of my adult life, I've played the game. And it's becoming a game I no longer recognize. And increasingly, every expansion, I feel like I'm having to further manipulate the intentions of the game to beat it into a game that I enjoy, right? Like I'm taking this monstrous game that is huge. It's just got so much stuff in it, and it's this massive game, and I'm shrinking it down and kind of like beating it around the edges and trying to form it into some semblance of the game that I used to really love, and trying to force my way into finding things about it that I could enjoy, just kind of out of this habit of continuing to play it. And I want to stress, I feel like I've really done that in Shadowlands. Like I am having more fun in this game than I feel like I've ever had since I stopped like seriously raiding. And even then, there was a lot of aspects of that were very job-like. And so I'm having this fun and I'm doing it without any expectations. And I think that it's time to admit that the game is becoming something I don't recognize anymore. And so, what better way to send off than to have this expansion where my twink, this character that I am quite attached to, I rather like this character, is able to play through the game, like she can play through every expansion except Cataclysm for some reason. And I can play through it and I can enjoy it and I can see the content and I can play the dungeons and I can get the transmogs and the engineering recipes and the cooking recipes and all that cool stuff and get to do it and experience it and see it. And then at the end, just cap it off and say, that was great. Thanks for the memories. And so I think that's what's going to happen. And I don't know what happens after that. You know, like, I don't think I'm going to like delete my character or anything like that. Like, I'm definitely probably going to keep her around. I'm probably going to pop on every now and then and just like stroll around in my favorite zones, maybe do a little fishing, maybe, you know, all that. Maybe, and who knows, maybe the next expansion comes out and it's really good and I find myself poking around at it a little bit. But this is definitely the end of me playing seriously for considerable amounts of time, having content completion goals, you know, all that, you know, having, you know, aspiring to organized PvP. Like, I had told myself at the beginning of this expansion, I was going to play as much organized PvP as I could because it was fun and engaging and I wanted to get better. And I wasn't really able to hold up to that, but we have had a lot of fun playing organized PvP. And so maybe I could see myself coming back for a little of that, but like, yeah, man, like, I don't know. I really feel like this is the end. And I'm realizing as I'm sort of talking through it and thinking through it, that I probably was going to quit at the end of Shadowlands anyway. And this was just forcing me to realize and accept that truth that, yeah, man, we're coming up on it. We're coming up on the end. And this sounds like, and it could be presented like some kind of rage quit. Like, Blizzard made a change that I just disagree with so much, you know, fuck the game forever. And I want to stress that no, it's not. Like, I love the game and I'm loving the time that I play in it. But it is becoming something that I'm having to like work very hard to find a small slice of that I enjoy. And I think it's time to admit that probably about the time I finish this twink in my estimation of what complete means, the game will no longer resemble something that I recognize and love to a degree that I used to. And so I would rather have had this fantastic experience playing twinks through Shadowlands and shut it down at sort of like the peak of my free-to-play enjoyment than, you know, keep holding on for another 30, 40, 30, I was about to say 30 or 40 years. God, kill me if I'm 70 and still playing this game. But another 5, 6 expansions down the road, and it's just no longer, you know, and having like forced myself to enjoy it. No, I don't want to be that person who's like playing a game that they hate. And I don't ever want to get to a point where I hate the game, you know, like that would also suck. So yeah, I think that's where we take this. Oh my God. Watch, I'm going to get an epic foam spittle just trying to get to Westfall. Where I go from here in terms of gaming, I really don't know. I'm probably going to have to find something to fill the void. And I think that in a lot of ways, I may very well be talking myself into picking up Classic, you know, because I keep talking about how great the game was when I fell in love with it and how great, you know, the game was when I was playing super seriously and the aspects of that I really enjoyed. And it occurs to me that like I started in vanilla, but I didn't really start raiding until Burning Crusade, and we weren't raiding seriously till sort of the end of Burning Crusade, and then like I wasn't twinking seriously until Wrath, and that seems to be where WoW Classic is going to sit. Maybe that's the game for me. Maybe I've been trying to force retail to happen and I just need to go play Classic. Or maybe it's time to just hang it up entirely and pick up something else. I really enjoy this other game called Darkest Dungeon, which a lot of people have heard of. Obviously, it's a great game. Maybe I play and record some more of that. Maybe, I don't know. We'll find something. It'll be fun. I don't think it's the end of this YouTube channel. I've had a lot of fun making these videos and making some of like the PvP videos and stuff. So maybe what I do is pick up Classic and we go into that. I don't know. I like talking about video games and I like talking about the video games that I'm playing, and I don't think that'll stop. So for like the three of you that really enjoy the channel, awesome, cool. I don't think that'll change, but I do think I need to come to terms with the fact that it's probably the end of the World of Warcraft line, and that this YouTube series, this ChopsVlog, may very well just be like my love letter to World of Warcraft combined with a Dear John letter. So that might be what that is. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm feeling a little sad, and just throw on some tunes and fly around Azeroth for a little bit, and let you guys chill to that as I collect engineering or coins for engineering patterns. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll talk to you next time.